Hi friends, it's Suzanne in Ohio. Hey, I'm back here at my messy desk and I just wanted to show you a few fall decorations. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm living in with my sister temporarily and we drug all her fall decorations out to do a little decorating, and I found 3 items that I had made her in the past, so I just thought I'd show them to you. This one here is a pillow and it's padded pretty firm, like for a lumbar pillow or stand up on your mantle or anything like that. The pillow itself is made out of homespun flannel, and I rag edged, snipped all the edges, left them raw so they can fray out. I made this at a time where I had hardly anything to work with, and so I I just used what I had. I had the flannel, the homespun print flannel, and I went to the thrift store, and on 50-cent day, I got wool garments and took them apart and washed them in my sewing machine or washing machine in hot water and felted them a little bit. So all of the oak leaves and the acorns are made out of recycled rescued wool and uh, put on in a woolly style. I guess, if you go on Pinterest and you put in woolies, you'll come up with all kind of stuff like this. Now, most of it is done in a primitive style because that's apropos for that. This is just done in a traditional style, but I love the look and the effect. This piece of green was an old wool coat that I found, and these were jackets and who knows what all. But it makes for a lot of fun if you have to work with what you've got. And then I embroidered blanket stitched around all the edges. So I don't know if any of you have done any woolly work or this kind of stitch. Then if so, leave me a comment, even a criticism if you want. And that lets me know how many people are out there doing that. Now I've got 2 more items, and I'll show you this little wall hanging. Same thing, out of rescued wool, and it just hangs up on a stick. It's a little wall hanging. I lined it, turned it back, stitched up the back, but the decoration on the front um, is all this rescued wool. And then I wanted some viney twiny things, I call them. So I had scraps left and I just twisted them and stitched them with a couching stitch just to stitch them down. That was the first time I'd ever tried that. I loved it. I loved the effect, and um, I've done a whole lot more of that ever since. And the string to tie it up on the wall is just a piece of raggy homespun. That was so much fun, and we're going to hang that somewhere for her and me to look at this fall. The It might go down in the brand new she shed. We don't know. But anyways, that was a lot of fun. Another piece of woolly. Now the other one is entirely different. This is a piece of locker hook, and I was talking about that a couple days ago in another video, and one of my viewers said, yes, she loved locker hook and had forgotten about it and um, had done some. I forget exactly how the comment read, but there was an older lady, truly a lady, that I had met, and she does a lot of locker hook, and she just showed me how to do it. And I had to try something, and I really enjoyed this. It's just an oversized, probably 20 inches. No, let's see, 12. No, it's probably 1819 by 1819, and it just hangs up. I put a solid, good, heavy piece of something on the back and made a pocket and put a stick through it. So it just hangs by a thread, a little string. So I wanted to talk to you a minute about this locker hook. I happened to find something to locker hook with at the thrift store the other day. So I thought, well, I'll just show you how to do that. Now, if you hear a noise in the background, that's my cat. She loves to paw through the bags that I bring from the thrift store. Now, locker hook is done on nothing more than rug canvas. And I've got a piece here. Happened to find a scrap at the thrift store. And I'll tell you what I have learned. So here's the rug canvas, nothing special, very affordable, and that's what you're working on. And basically what you do is draw your design on your canvas with a magic marker. If you're going to trace something, you can lay it down right on top of your tracing and just use a magic marker. And all I had on here was, on my maple leaf, was the main vein and the outside edges. And it's not, excuse me, hiccups. It wasn't even important that I stay right within the lines. I didn't care. But now basically what you're doing with locker hooking is a type of crochet. Now I had to hunt around. I found one of these years ago at, I think, Michael's. It was a fluke that I even found it. Now, of course, I can order it on Amazon. But let me show you what it's like. It has a needle eye on one end and a crochet hook on the other. So this is the first time I've practiced this in a couple of years, so I'm just going to try to remember what I did, and I will get you started. There was a few things that I learned, and this was the first one, is, now the reason you have an eye in this needle is you're going to put a piece of yarn through here. And I didn't realize at first that I had to have some really strong yarn. So after that, I started searching the thrift store for nothing but rug yarn. And I just happened to find another one the other day. Here's a dark green one, and it said heavy rug yarn. And because it's 100% polyester, I'm telling you, you could hang a horse up with this stuff before it would break. But that's extremely important to have a yarn, not regular yarn, not at all. It's just shredded all to pieces because you're actually going to pull it through time and time again, and it gets frayed and weak. And there were several rows in my locker stitch that I had to just take out and start over again. So let's get a piece of yarn on here. I'm just going to thread it through the eye. And there you have that part. And on my canvas, one thing you do want to do is you want to cut this binding off. And the reason is, let me turn this over so the tendency to roll won't drive me crazy. You want to fold this under. I like to do 2, if not 3 solid rows. So I'm going to bend 3 over, and then when I come to the corner, I'm going to bend 1, 2, 3 backwards here. It doesn't matter, but you want to stabilize it. So when you're coming to the corner, you're going to be putting your crochet hook right down through all those layers. And I'm going to get you down just a little bit closer, and let's see. So you're going to be going through all those holes, and that secures the canvas because every now and then one of these outside will work its way off. That's why you want to do 2 or 3 rows. But for the sake of ease and just demonstration, I'll just show you how I started. And I want you to pretend like I know what I'm doing. I haven't been, once you practice this, you'll be in such a rhythm. You won't have any trouble. It goes so fast. And this is a wonderful way, locker hooking is a wonderful way to use up all of your junk fabric, scraps. You can use long and short. Now, what you do want to do is have your, now, I'll pull that under later so that that knot doesn't show. But for now, to hold it in place, I'm going to put that right there. And I've got some scraps here on the lap. Let's dump them out here. When I find junk fabric or somebody gives me junk fabric that I know I can't use for anything else or it's not big enough, I cut it in these strips. This is about maybe 1 1/8 wide. Let's see. No, it's exactly 1. And there's a lot of ways you can do it. But I like to, if I want the color to really show, if I really care, I just kind of give it a little fold. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from the bottom and I'm going to pull that fabric backwards through that hole. Let me get it in the eye of the needle. Barely didn't get it. It's not a perfect science. Let's push that through. Okay, right here. It's trying to make me look bad. Can you believe that? There. Now I just want my tail on the back and I'm going to leave it stick out for a while. There's other ways you can do it and plenty of instruction you can find online if you want to get serious about this. But, okay, I am just batting 1,000 here. Okay, now the bulk of your fabric goes in the back because you're going to crochet from the front. And I like to try to make sure the bright color of my fabric's showing up. It doesn't matter. But now I'm just going to crochet. I'm going to go down and pick up that piece of fabric in the back, and I want to pull it up so that my needle can slide through there comfortably. And then I'm going to go back in, pull up another one, and I'm going to keep doing this until I have 5 or 6 loops on my needle. There's 3, 4, 5. Now those loops are all on my needle, except for this one. There it goes. Okay, and now what I'll do, because that's a comfortable number for me, I'm going to pull the yarn all the way through. And thus you have it. That's why it's called locker hook, because once you pull this yarn through these loops, it can't ever slip backwards like that. Now we're at a short piece of fabric here, so let's add another piece of fabric on. And let's even do this. I love this. A piece of fabric with printing on it. We're going to use it. So 2 or 3 different ways you can do this. You overlap your edges, fold it, and then we're going to give a little snip. And then whatever fabric you have laying on top, you're going to loop it back under and come up through that little slit that you just created. And if you've never seen this done, first time I saw it, I thought it was magic. Now, when you pull that through, give it a little yank, and you've attached 2 pieces of fabric together without a knot. It's really a loop hook. And now we can go back to pulling our loops up. And because I'm working in a double canvas right there, I'm going slow. Now when I get to a knot, that knot is going to give me a little bit of a problem pulling it backwards, but I just pull on it and see what happens. It's not a perfect art. If it's too bulky, then I'll push over here where the knot isn't. Let me unhook that. Come down here where there's only one thickness of fabric, and there it comes through. And now I have 4 loops on my needle, and now 5. And just pull through and repeat, repeat, repeat. And you won't believe what kind of a look you'll get. It's darling. I've contemplated making a journal cover like this, and that just might be what I do with this piece. And again, one more final look at this maple leaf, and I'll back you out a little bit. I just really enjoy doing this. So go to the thrift store, see what you can find. Pick up some junk fabric and cut it in your strips and see what you can create. Hey, thanks for watching today, and if you're a locker hooker, give me a thumbs up or some good advice, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.